It's Bookshot Worm, back from a long time. You can reach me on Twitter at bookshotworm1, or you can go to bookshotworm.com. I have to go and update that. It's been a while. I've been very busy reading, writing, watching videos, and also reading on Twitter about an incident called the Fyre Festival. Apparently, Ja Rule has apologized greatly about this incident that happened. I don't know quite sure why it became such a chaos, but Ja Rule made something in the Bahamas called the Fyre Festival, and it was supposed to be about closely resembling Coachella in California. I think that's what he was going for. The tickets were pretty high priced for a pack of 4. It was $12,000. But okay, that's fine if it would have went well. What happened was there was mass chaos. The catering, which was supposed to be this elaborate catering, came down to literally a slice of bread and processed cheese and one thing of lettuce. People were so mad because there was like no bathrooms. It was just like it turned into the Hunger Games, they said, or Lord of the Flies. So they go to the airport, and it was so disorganized because I guess people were leaving in mass droves that they had to have the crew members come on, and it was just chaos from there on. I feel bad for whoever went there. I mean, to spend that much money. Now they're saying if you have a ticket to hold on to it because they're going to redo it in the States, where it might be better. Maybe because it was in the Bahamas, it wasn't as easy to control. And I think Blink-182, which was one of the headliners, they just called it off because they said it wasn't up to their standards. So that was kind of what started the snowball effect. I just read that on Twitter, and as it was happening, and the people were just so angry. And I can imagine, I mean, you spend all that money and expect to see, a great concert, and that happens. So now I'm going to go on to some books. The first one was well received. In the beginning, it's called Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough, who I hadn't knew about before this. She's a British author. British authors are getting a lot of attention lately. There was Mo Hader. She was had some very strange novels, which the first 2 of her books, look up Mo, M-O, Hader, Hayter, the first 2 books. One I think is called Birdman. Excellent books. She got a little strange after that, but anyway, as I was saying, British author, like Paula Hawkins, Girl on a Train was well received. She just recently came out with a new one, Into the Water, which I heard is not as well received, but I'm going to read it myself. I got the book immediately, so I will be reviewing that. Right now, we'll start with Behind Her Eyes. In the beginning, this book is slamming good. I mean, it had the potential to be amazing, but what happened is, and I don't want to give too many, I don't want to go into spoilers. It has to do with Louise is a single mom, a secretary stuck in a rut. She meets a man at a bar and they kiss. And turns out, I'm not giving away because it happens in the very beginning. Turns out that he's her new boss. So what transpires is this weird kind of menage a trois between the wife, the husband, and the girl. And she's wondering, because there's some strange things that she's starting to notice. Louise, is the woman abused? Is this guy an abuser? What's his story? That was awesome. And there was a mystery involved about what happened to this gentleman that they knew of. And David was the husband. And it goes on to, Rob was his name. Rob, it involves a mystery about this guy, Rob. Everything was going good, and then they start to get into, it's called astral projection. That's when it starts to get a little weird. Now, if you can suspend disbelief, you would go for it. Myself, I love the ending. Some people didn't like it. It is a surprise. I cannot imagine people guessing that. It really comes out of nowhere. The ending is crazy, and it did surprise me. I thought I guessed it, but it still threw me for a loop. But yet, I just don't know about these dreams and doors that she gets into. Take a look for yourself. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was great until it got into the dreams. Okay, next, I got more attention on Twitter for saying I was reading this than any other Twitter or tweet I've ever had. It's Artie Lang, who we know is from Dirty Work, and he was on the Howard Stern show, and he continues to make the news headlines for a variety of things, good and bad. This is called Too Fat to Fish, and I just got Crash and Burn, so I'm going to read that next. I thought this was hysterical. I always loved Artie. I think he seems like a really good guy. He might be a little beats himself up a little much, but you know, he's hysterical. The scene, his first sexual experience in the back of his dad's van, is so funny. I was up at 2:00 in the morning laughing my head off. It is a really funny book, and he's very honest. He really does go into a lot about himself and why, you know, I mean, his drug use has been much documented, so I'm not throwing anything out there that anybody doesn't know. I hope that he one day gets the help he needs. I mean, he's lasted longer, you know, like John Belushi, the comedians that people compare him to, Chris Farley, they all died so young. He's making it, so I wish him good health, and this I strongly recommend. It is hysterical. I heard Crash and Burn is a little bit more dark, but hey, this 5 stars all the way. Artie rock. Okay, so then, now I just started this, and this has good reviews. It's called Marlena. Everything about 15-year-old Kat, new town in rural Michigan, is lonely and off kilter until she meets her neighbor, the manic, beautiful, pill-popping Marlena. And it says right here, Marlena drowns in 6 inches of icy water, and now decades later, a ghost from that pivotal year surfaces unexpectedly. Kat tries again to move on. And I just started reading it, and I'm like a little 20% in, and it's good. I'm liking this. So I'll get to the end, and then I'll say if it's truly maintained its structure. Excellent. And there's a couple more things I just want to talk about. I got Katie Seagal's book, which I definitely want to read. The Hell's Angel guy, his name's David. I know his last name begins with an L. I can never pronounce it correctly. I got his autobiography, which I'm going to read. And there's a couple other books that I got, like Paul Hawkins' book, and I will get to all of them. In the meantime, keep on reading, and go to Twitter, Bookshotworm1.